Israeli law, especially in Egypt in the modern period. And so I'm delighted to open this distinguished panel, and I thank the organizers for inviting me to chair it and for proposing, I think, a strong panel constituted by scholars who come from various disciplines, among which history, political science, and sociology, anthropology. It is a special pleasure to meet again two colleagues, Irene and Baudouin, whom I know, I think, for 30 or 40 years, who counts, and to meet for the first Jocelyn and Dorothy. I believe that this panel will give us a taste of the divergent elements that are involved in the complex and multifaceted relationship between Islam and Islamic law on the one hand, and the modern centralist nation state on the other. I think that the main process associated with this development is codification, which some define as the positivation of law. So we start with the societal forces, be it feminist organizations or religious minorities that initiate state legislation, especially when such legislation is presented by the legislators as based on Islamic law. The public debates that evolve around legislation drafts and proposals, and the reasons for the success of some attempts and the hindrance or failure of others. Other features involved in this development is the daily practice of law in the judicial arena, which includes litigant strategies, especially in settings of legal pluralism, the professional culture and routine of the judges and the court personnel, and the judges' discretion, which is not uniform and is informed by various normativities. Without further delay, I want to hand the floor to the speakers. I ask each speaker again to limit herself to the 20 minutes time slot. I try to signal today 2 minutes before the end of each session, and to leave some space or place for questions and comments in the last part of the panel. So, as in the last panel, we'll have the 4 talks, one after the other, and questions and comments afterwards. So, the first speaker is Baudouin Dupré, who is educated in law, Islamic sciences, and political sciences. He is directeur de recherche at the French National Center for Scientific Research. He's also a guest lecturer at the University of Leuven in Belgium and research associate at the Netherlands Institute of Morocco. He has published extensively in the field of the sociology and anthropology of law in Middle Eastern and Islamic contexts. He co-edited numerous volumes, the 2 most recent ones being Legal Rules in Practice and State Law and Legal Positivism. He also authored several books, for example, Adjudication in Action, published by Routledge in 2011, What is the Sharia, published in 2017, and Positive Law from the Muslim World by Cambridge University Press, 2021. He's currently working on the positivizing process of norms in and beyond the law in African Muslim contexts. His talk today is titled Establishing Filiation Relationships in Islamic Aid Contexts, a comparative perspective on the practice of Islamic positive law. Please.